Jackie. Welcome back to my channel. I have a homeschooling video for you guys. It should be fairly short, but a lot of you all have asked me for videos about homeschooling through high school in particular, and there don't seem to be very many videos about that on YouTube. So whenever I get an idea or whenever you guys ask me a question, then I'm like, oh, that's a great idea for a video, I like to try to sit down and make it. So the most recent one I did was about graduating from high school early and kind of my thoughts on it and why I don't want my girls to graduate from high school early. So if you haven't seen that, definitely check it out. But today I'm going to be talking about getting a high school diploma. That was one of the things that I worried about the most, because if you homeschool your kid, they don't get a state issued diploma. And so there's so much of a fear and a stigma around not being a high school graduate and not having a high school diploma that I had no idea in the beginning of our homeschooling journey. When my oldest was in 4th grade at the time and my youngest was a baby, I was like, oh my goodness, she's not gonna have a diploma. People are gonna think she didn't graduate from high school. How is she gonna get a job? How is she gonna get into college? Those were all things that really concerned me. And we even considered at one point putting her, like homeschooling her all the way through the high school, and then her senior year putting her in public school, just so she would get a state issued diploma. Now that I've figured things out and I've talked to so many parents and I've read the rules and I've talked to schools and universities and colleges, I don't worry about that anymore, and I don't want you guys to worry about it. And so I'm going to share with you kind of like my thoughts on it and why I don't think it's a big issue. So if you are homeschooling, and if you homeschool all the way through high school, you are the one who is going to be issuing your child a high school diploma based on, you know, your state's laws of how many hours of school they have, whatever classes they have to take, and whatever classes you want them to take. Once they have met those requirements, you are the one that is giving them the official homeschool high school diploma. Unless your child is doing their high school work through an accredited school, whether that be part of the public school system, an accredited private school, or there are very few, but there are some accredited homeschool curriculum companies. Unless your child is doing their high school classes from one of those accredited places, you are going to be the one to issue their diploma. And you can make one on your own. You can buy them from websites that look just like a diploma that your child would get if they had gone to public school. And that's probably what we'll do, just because I want my daughters to have like a more professional looking keepsake than just me printing something out at home. But you definitely can print them out at home. You can buy them on different websites. You know, you can do all kinds of different things. But unless they're going to an accredited school and unless they graduate from an accredited school, you're going to be the one to issue them their diploma. That really scared me, because I thought, oh my goodness, people are going to think they didn't really graduate. That is a high school diploma. You issued their high school diploma. The state understands this. The state understands that homeschooling students, their parents are the ones that are going to be issuing them a diploma. So just because they didn't get one from, you know, so-and-so county or the state of Kentucky, wherever, it's still a diploma. If you're worried about your child not having an accredited diploma and getting a job, you go to the job, you fill out the application. Are you a high school graduate? Yes. Did your child, you know, if your child completed the courses, they passed everything, and they had the credit hours that were required by your state for your child to graduate, yes, they are a high school graduate. Did you receive a high school diploma? Yes, they did. Did it come from the state or the county that you live in? No. But they did receive a high school diploma. If you're worried about your child going to college and not having a diploma, now this is just my experience personally, and also the research that I've done. The colleges and universities that your children or child are going to go to are more interested in your child's transcript, which includes their credit hours completed, their GPA, and their ACT or SAT scores. That is what they look at. I don't know that any college, and if I'm wrong, you guys can correct me. I don't know that any college or university has ever asked to see a diploma, because they don't care about that. And that's my experience also with my daughter. My oldest is taking dual credit classes. She's already taking college classes. It was never ever something that the admissions officer said, you know, at some point we're gonna have to see her diploma. All they wanted to see was the transcript and her ACT score. So definitely do your research. That is my theme in every one of these videos. Do your own research. If you feel like you need to call some of the local universities and colleges in your area and say, hey, are you gonna need to see a diploma, or do you just wanna see test scores and transcripts? You know, double check me and make sure. But in my experience and in my research, nobody has ever been asked to show a diploma just to get into college. I have heard that the military and certain trade schools do have different requirements on what they would want you to show, so you would want to check with them separately. But again, that falls under the umbrella of do your own research and ask those questions about what they require for admission. But like I said, in my experience and in the experience of other people that I've talked to that have kids in college that homeschooled and graduated from a homeschool, high school, never, ever, ever did it come up about a diploma. So don't let that scare you. Don't let that freak you out and think, oh my goodness, my child's not going to be a high school graduate. They are going to be a high school graduate. They are going to graduate from your homeschool high school, and they're going to meet those requirements that were set forth by your state and by you as their homeschooling parent to say they completed, you know, such and so credit hours of these classes. They passed all of these classes. They did this or that with their ACT or SAT. That's what you need to focus on. Worry about those things. Make a list of questions that you can ask the admissions officers at different colleges, universities, vocational schools, the military, all these places that you think your child might want to go after high school, and ask them, do you need to see a diploma, or do you just want to see their transcript, or do you want to see you know, their ACT, SAT scores? But even if they do want to see a diploma, in my experience and in my research, your homeschool issued diploma is a high school diploma as long as they have met those requirements of the certain classes you're supposed to take, the certain credit hours you're supposed to take, if that makes sense. I hope that kind of gives you some peace of mind, a little bit of clarity, and something that I wish I would have heard and known about going into homeschooling. I wouldn't have freaked out so much those first few years thinking, what am I going to do about high school? She's not going to graduate and have a diploma. She's going to have a diploma. I'm going to issue it. I'm going to buy a copy of it from a company, and it's going to come bound in a thing, and it's going to look just like my high school diploma did, even though I went to public school. So throwing that out there, I hope it was helpful and it gives you guys some encouragement. Make sure you check out my description box. I have my homeschooling playlist linked for you. There are so many videos in that playlist all about curriculum choices and homeschool mom life, homeschool schedules, homeschooling through high school. All of that stuff lives in that playlist. You're going to want to check that out for more videos that hopefully will be helpful. If this video was helpful, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.